We're holding in the third paragraph of the Akdama, Libramaskel v'achshav. V'achshav b'doreinu zeh. Today in our generation, ein tzrichim l'chapes u'levakish v'matmoinim. We don't have to search in secret places to look for to look for the sin that caused the tragedies of our times. Because it's openly stated in Chazal that they tell us this openly. They learn out from Sukkim that because of transgression of the Shal Shvuos, not to go up and with large numbers of Yidden to Eretz Yisrael. We'll see what that means. Siman Yud, Mitzvah Hashem. And not to force the end of Galus. Chas v'shalom. Animatir es besarchem. The oynish for that is that Hashem will permit the flesh of Yidden kitzvos v'chaylos hasada, like the gazelles and like the deer of the fields. Rachmana litzlan. But when the senior rabbin came haya, unfortunately, that's exactly what happened. Haminim v'apikorsim, those sionim of our time, asu kol mine hishtadlus lavar al shvuos. They made a lot of effort before the Holocaust. Now he's talking. Even though it didn't actually happen, they didn't actually make a Medina before the Holocaust.
Yeah, that's what I don't understand.
What's shver here is the Rebbe is going to have to explain how the Aveir was done before. Right, the Holocaust happened before Kamas Medina. And it happened in Europe.
But they're already starting, they're already starting the whole idea.
But it was started.
It's already present.
So they did a lot of hishtadlus to be over.
And today they're much worse, and nothing is happening to them. It's the Arabs.
Well, Hashem has Rahmanis until this point. Baruch Hashem. In any case, but the just a brief timeline of what they did before World War II. In 1897, that's when the founding conference of the Zionist movement happened.
But they didn't actually rebel against.
Right, they weren't doing anything at that point. The Balfour Declaration was in 1917,
but that was Britain. That was in the Sionim who did it.
Yeah, but the Sionim convinced the British to do it.
So even just
they convinced them. They forced them. And then they didn't force them, but they used pressure from inside, political pressure. And then in the end of World War I, there was a Jewish legion that fought in World War I to conquer Israel.
Neely.
I don't know if it was them, but it was Jabotinsky and his people, Beitar movement, the youth movement.
But it was also Neely, I think.
Could be that some of them joined it, but they...
but at that time, also the Sionim were a minority. They were not a majority.
That's true.
Israel.
That's true.
So
they were a very small number, but they helped the British. They knew what was at stake. They wanted to conquer the land. They wanted the British to get it because the British promised that if they conquer it, then they'll give it to the Sionim.
The Beitar movement was against the Turks or against the...
Yeah, they fought against the Turks. They fought with the British against the Turks.
Yeah, that's so silly.
And then during the 30 years of the mandate, the Zionists brought 400,000 Jews to Eretz Yisrael, and 50,000 of them came illegally. They came on ships and they just sneaked them in, illegal immigration.
It was dangerous like that. What they did was they jumped,
They jumped off the ships
in the ocean, swam where there were no British guards, which not all of them made because it's in the ocean.
And then they had the Irgun and they had the Stern Gang, which were doing illegal activity against the British, terrorism against the British, and the Haganah, which was founded in 1921. By 1936, it was an army of 50,000 people. So there was a lot going on before the war. And but they had tons of weapons and training, and they had a lot going on. So that's what he means here, that there was a lot done before. To go up with masses of people, to take a government on their own. And it's interesting, in 1942, that's when the Biltmore Conference happened, and they said officially that their goal is to make a state. Until then, they were just saying it's going to be a Jewish homeland or a Jewish settlement. But now they said a Beferish state. Shazehu dechikas akates, and that is forcing the end.
They were all about making a state.
That's true. But it was a theoretical book. He didn't say that he wants to actually do it. He just said, this is a state, this is an idea I have. But practically speaking, when he spoke to the Turks, And when he spoke to the Sultan and the Kaiser and people he spoke to, he didn't say a state. He just said, I want to have
Although his own book says he called it der Jüdischer Staat.
the Judenstaat, yeah. Okay, and secondly, they drew in and they attracted most of the Jewish people to this unclean idea. Now, what's the proof that they got Roiv B'nai Yisrael before the Holocaust on the side of Zionism? Well, I wasn't able to find any proof to that, but if you take a look at the numbers that they bring, the Zionist movement had 1 million members out of 18 million Jews before the war. They had about 1 million members in 61 countries. The total world Jewish population at that time was 16 million. So, not 18, 16. And Zionism was banned in Turkey and in the USSR. So, people who were members there weren't officially members. So, we don't know what their numbers were. So,
and in Hitler's Germany, it was not.
There were about.
In Hitler's Germany, it was not banned. As a matter of fact, Hitler.
It was encouraged, right?
It was, they were in the minority, and Hitler appointed them over the majority of the Jews.
Right, but it shows that Zionism.
That's what Edwin Black's book Transfers Agreement is about.
Was very popular at that time. We don't know exactly how popular it was, and this statement that he's making here that Roiv B'nai Yisrael were on the side of the Zionists, that's not so clear if we can find proof to that, but it could be true. It's very likely that it's true.